take one of the very controversial things he was involved in. The Nazis and many non-Nazis attempted to prohibit shchita.
This is what you, this is we're talking about what, the 30s, early 30s?
We're talking even about the 1920s.
20s.
I just discovered the other day, there's a new book by Michael Brenner on the rise of Nazism in Munich in the early 1920s. At one place in the discussion, he mentions that by late 1920s, in Bavaria, they prohibited shchita. There was a coalition of the Nazis and the Social Democrats, and they passed through that law. Once the Nazis were in charge of Germany as a whole, these things could move ahead. And they tried to prohibit certain aspects of shchita. There's an argument that the animals have to be stunned before they are slaughtered, and that would raise serious kosher problems. There were questions came up regarding fat poultry. And the difficulty that Yechiel Weinberg was in was that if you prohibited shchita completely, certainly the majority of people were not Orthodox, many of whom had no objection to eating kosher, but if they don't give them that option, they would fall away completely. And that even for Orthodox Jews, it would be a great hardship. So he explored possibilities both regarding poultry and regarding cattle of some kind of compromise position, which would be halachically acceptable. In the end, he did not publish this at the time because the Eastern European authorities he was in touch with were very much against it. And for public policy considerations, A, that halachically it really wasn't what you should be doing. B, that once you began to compromise, you would give the anti-Semites and the secularists and liberals excuses for pushing further. So in the end, this did not go public. Somebody who knew Yechiel Weinberg well in the 1920s, my teacher, Joseph Soloveitchik. And when Yechiel Weinberg's name came up in conversation, the Rav said to me, "Halacha k'moto b'chol makom," which is a formula for saying, well, everything is about him is good, except this business with the shchita where it just wasn't acceptable. He left it at that.
So this was published after the war? Extremely lengthy. I mean, I went through parts of it, extremely lengthy.
Yeah.
And he's bringing other famous rabbinical figures, and it was all filed.
Yes, he would not make such a move unless he had a consensus on his side. Chaim Ozer in Vilna said no. Rav Kook, with broad enough shoulders, was not interested in getting involved. And that was that.